One amazing way that you can look at this is that you and your SP are technically in conversation every day, even if you currently have no contact. We're going to delve into a Neville Goddard concept today in practice that I want to talk about more in my content, and that is really going to be a really simple yet powerful tool that will help you focus on this end result with your SP, flip the conversation in your favor, and help them manifest faster. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to any new viewers. I think my SP content is probably the most popular, goes without saying. So welcome to everyone who's watching this brand new. I'm Alexa. I'm a manifestation coach, content creator overall. If you want to get more support content, everything will be linked below. But today specifically is a video, as you know, about your SP and Neville Goddard combined, which is a really powerful, I don't want to say mishmash, a really powerful match, shall we say. So it's a powerful but simple technique that you might already be practicing and maybe you don't even realize it. So it's going to tie into inner conversations, a specific practice that Neville kind of coined himself. I'm going to explain exactly how to use this to your benefit in a really easy, simple way. So stay tuned to hear everything. There's a lot of different points, psychological points about your own mind that I want to get into later in the video. So stay tuned for that. And of course, if you do want the extra content and bonus videos, then do sign up for my membership. You can just take a look at what's available by clicking the join button. The link should be in the description box as well. It's all right below. My coaching website is below as well if you want to take a step further and actually get one-to-one coaching. If you are struggling in your SP manifestation and you want to get that one-to-one support and have all your questions answered, that is the best way to do it. And yeah, members are about to start their new monthly content. It's all exclusive content voted on by members, so do join if you're interested. But now let's start today's video. Your assumptions about your SP are the basis and root of everything. They're not just random thoughts or just minor beliefs. They shape how you actually think about your SP and relationships, dating. If it's non-romantic as well, this applies, a non-romantic SP. It just shapes your relationship with other people, humans, friendships, whatever it may be, family relationships. It's going to shape how you view that, your assumptions, what comes up in your mind. If you're triggered, anxious, having a bad day, seeing something you don't like, all of those assumptions are going to kind of come to the surface, which means your conscious mind. And they often form, and in this sense of the word, manifest, and I don't mean manifest in the term, in the way that, you're manifesting a result. They manifest as inner conversations and kind of imagined, visualizing, daydreaming, so to speak, in your mind throughout the day. It can be at random times. It doesn't have to be every single day, but you will notice these things, especially if you have a good mental diet, you're self-aware, you will pick up on these things, and that is all coming from the root of your assumptions. So I wrote down a couple things as well that might show up that are quite common that you might assume, and that is kind of talked about as well in society in meme format, all this kind of thing, especially, social media does feed into our assumptions, good or bad. So things like, SP is ignoring me, or SP is ghosting me, SP doesn't care, SP doesn't want to be with me anymore, or like at all, SP always comes back, or an ex always comes back, whatever it may be. But you don't want to feed into a toxic cycle, perpetuating these negative thoughts and assumptions that, I just assume this always happens, this is the way it's always been, and that is your belief about your specific person. You want to break that cycle because it does show up in a conversation format. If you maybe in the 3D ended things at some point on a not best note, then it's easy to get angry and focus on that and harbor those feelings and resentment. And then that does come out in your inner conversations and the way you think about your SP. I do also have a Neville quote here that ties into this. It's literally about inner conversations. Our inner conversations are perpetually unfolding in our outer world, which again just ties into that main principle. If you're new to manifesting, internally is what's going on internally is reflected externally. So whatever is going on in your mindset, literally the assumptions, so to speak, just to simplify it as what the root beliefs are in our subconscious mind, they materialize externally. So perpetually unfolding. So, it might be one thought creates a domino effect and you keep thinking that, you keep seeing evidence, therefore you keep thinking it, so on and so forth. So I would personally interpret it that way, like perpetually unfolding. So yeah, whether it's good or bad, you can take the control now and say, I'm going to make it good. I'm going to have positive inner conversations about my SP. And then it's perpetually unfolding in your favor. So yeah, essentially what you keep repeating to yourself, the inner conversations that you kind of rehearse and repeat to yourself is what their behavior is going to materialize as. Now to get onto the actual method, instead of just looping your affirmations, even though it's a very powerful, simple, succinct practice to do. I love it. It's my number one thing. It's what I recommend to clients, what I do myself. Instead of just affirming to your SP, really embody that end result. This is where the identity shift comes in with manifesting. You are becoming the version of you that believes and experiences what you want. So a relationship with SP. So instead of just affirming to your SP, even though again, it manifests and it's powerful, embody and focus on those inner conversations as if you're literally seeing your SP behave and be the version that you want right now. So the first step and the main thing to do would be, the actual practice itself, again, super simple. So it's about the inner dialogue, having a little conversation in your mind, kind of visualizing, but it can just be verbal. I know some people don't really like to visualize, but close your eyes, get a bit relaxed so you can focus. Your mind isn't going to wander. You feel a bit more calm and present in the moment. Whatever you want to do, you can light candles, play classical music, whatever you want to do, like add in the extras you want. I'm just going to explain to you guys the exact steps for this method, but feel free to do whatever required to get into that right mindset, really relaxed. Close your eyes and literally hear yourself having a conversation with SP and hear them saying exactly what you want to hear. So try and go to that end result. Don't say things like, personally, I would say don't say things like, I'm sorry, I miss you, unless maybe it's a phone call where, they're professing their feelings to you. I would go more to the end result, literally getting exactly what you want, exactly what you deserve. So not just saying, here's me acknowledging something I did wrong. Here's me acknowledging we had no contact. Go to the end, beyond that. So you really want to immerse yourself, like I said, in first person. You're participating, you're not watching. You're a participant, not a viewer. So you're literally in first person. It's you having this conversation. I presume everyone already knows what their SP's voice sounds like. Again, it can be a visual or just imagine. It really doesn't matter. The subconscious takes it in regardless and it will manifest. And it doesn't have to be perfect or super detailed, but just imagine hearing in your SP's voice and you're directly in this conversation with them saying exactly what you want to hear. And respond, whatever you want to say, and, confirm and affirm to yourself what's going on. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that you want to get back together. I'm so relieved that everything's perfect for us now. Whatever it is, respond accordingly and so you're telling your mind, hey, this is my reality. I have this amazing result here now. Repeat it as well until it becomes natural. It's about making sure it feels authentic to you, like a real present moment experience, because I will explain why this works even more powerfully with the mind in a moment. But repeat it until it's not forced or anxiety inducing or kind of a bit awkward and disconnected. Keep repeating it over and over. That repetition is huge. That's why affirming actually is so powerful. But the repetition here is going to work really well as well. And another point as well that's going to help this, make it easy, simple, a quick technique, honestly, you can do every single day, is to keep it maybe up to 10 seconds, between 5 and 10 seconds, I would say. It can literally just be one line and then you reply with something. Obviously, that still implies exactly what we want. It does not have to be detailed. We're not writing a movie script here. So just loop it, between 5 and 10 times as well, and a 5 and 10 second scene in one go. You will know what to do. It's up to you. You can do it 100 times if that works. If you feel like you need it and you have the time, go for it. But keep it short, to the point, exactly what you'd like to hear. So tying it back into why this works, going beyond that with psychology, quantum realities, every reality is already in existence. So it already exists. The conversation that you're imagining and hearing, the fact that you can imagine it, it's already acknowledging and bringing it into existence. You're saying, I can imagine this, I can see this reality happening, it already exists. You're connecting to that quantum reality. So by repeating and rehearsing and mentally experiencing this conversation, you're tying yourself closer and closer. That quantum frequency is strengthening. The more you rehearse it and focus it on it, and kind of mentally experience it as if it were real. You don't have to feel it, you don't have to believe it, but as if it were real, you're bringing it closer and closer to you because you're experiencing it as if it's here. So that reality has to physically materialize. Another thing is that your subconscious mind literally can't tell the difference between what's imagined and what has actually happened. Memory itself, I know there's been a lot of psychological research into it and whatnot, maybe more science-based research as well, like scientific facts rather than the study of the way the mind works. But yeah, the point is there's been a lot of research as well into memory. Like, memory is malleable and subjective, you know? Multiple people can remember the same experience differently. So really, you can mold and reshape, you know, all of these elements in your subconscious. It does not understand what's imagined or real. The conscious mind does, because it thinks logically and it's there to protect you, and, you know, function day to day. But ultimately, whatever the root beliefs are and root assumptions, they are completely subjective and malleable. So the more you repeat this, the more your mind says, oh, I keep thinking of this scenario, it must be real. I can see it. I can use all my senses to imagine it. I heard this person say this to me. It must be true. So the repetition builds it up. It overrides the negative assumptions and the doubt that may come up. So yeah, that's the literal like psychological fact that your mind won't be able to tell the difference. And those inner conversations are literally training your nervous system and subconscious mind to shift to that, to normalize it, to accept it as something safe and realistic. You're teaching your mind and your body and neural pathways overall how to respond to this, to respond in a positive way, in a believing way. Your mind is also going to literally start reflecting it back to you, and manifestation, obviously, through your external reality, because the reticular activating system, RAS, is going to filter for where your focus goes. So if you watch a film for 2 hours and then you talk to a friend about a film and it had a really big impact on you, really enjoyed it, you're likely to see references to it. You'll probably hear people talk about it. These are real life examples of the way this works. Because you've really focused on it, it's had an impact on you, it's had an emotional impact on you, it's saturated your mind, it's impacted the way you think, it's been at the top of your thoughts for a long period of time to the point of saturation. And the same goes here. The more you loop this inner conversation with your SP, the more it's going to be stored in the subconscious and reflect through the RAS. So in your, you know, external reality, you'll be more prone and kind of primed as well. Your mind will be primed to find examples and references to. A couple points before we finish up, thanks to everyone who's still watching. You want to make sure that you're not thinking of it as something very external or distant from you, or something that you're trying to create and trying to achieve because it's so far away. You want to make sure that you're, like I said, the first person participant. You're in this conversation. This is you experiencing it mentally with your SP. You're not wishing and hoping and trying to make something happen. You are experiencing it mentally, which is the most important element. Like I said, also keep it simple. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated. You don't need to overanalyze it or panic. It should be enjoyable, you know, rewarding, and yeah, just an enjoyable experience, because that's just going to make it even more realistic. To be able to connect to it emotionally and feel excited about it, try and keep it simple, exactly what you'd like to experience. A lot of people also can feel kind of disheartened because you're not seeing it reflected. But remember, your 3D has a time lag. It's delayed. It's not going to instantly reflect it. It's possible, but the rule, that's the exception, not the rule. The rule is usually that, you know, it takes a little bit of time. There's a slight delay because, you know, we could have everything instantly and we'd all be billionaires living in utopia if manifestation happened instantly in the physical reality. So just remember, it does take a little bit of time. It doesn't have to be long, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Just trust that if you're not seeing it yet, it's coming together and it will materialize. So just remember that the more you saturate your mind, the more your SP has no choice but to conform, because you've shaped these positive assumptions in your mind that you and SP have this amazing connection, this amazing relationship, and they then have to reflect it externally. So just persist. Keep going, definitely test out this method. I'd love to hear how it works for you guys. And yeah, do thumbs up, subscribe, turn on that notification bell if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.